So listen, you guys, the Vogue Summer 2023 patterns just dropped. And let me tell you, there's only 6 patterns that I like, okay? It's 8 patterns that I would not even think about picking up, and I'm gonna tell you why, all right? So if that's some content you would like to see, keep on watching. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs, and in this video, I'm just going to tell you those 6 patterns. I'm gonna also tell you the ones I'm not gonna pick up and why, but I'm gonna tell you those 6 patterns that I do plan on picking up as well. Now, these just dropped yesterday, I believe, okay? And I want to show you those patterns that I am going to be picking up. Now, I just came back from Joann's and the sale is Simplicity pattern for $1.99. I also picked up some new look patterns as well for $1.99. So I will be sharing those with you in a different video because I have some Butterick patterns that I picked up last week. Now, before you guys get on to me, I know I have not been posting the sales, but your girl's been busy behind the scene with some projects that I cannot talk about right now. And also, I've been really down and hurting with my shoulder these last few days with all the rain that we have been having here in Orlando. So I do apologize. I'm gonna get right back on the horse, okay? But I have been sewing behind the scenes and I will be showing you a lot of those things here coming up, all right? But we're not talking about that. We're going to get into these Vogue patterns. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. Hello, ciao, guten tag, aloha, hola, konnichiwa, wagwan, sabudani, salon, bonjour. If you're returning, you know what to do. Quick snack, something to drink, come on back so we can go ahead and get into this video, all right? Now, there's 6 patterns that I plan on picking up from this Vogue collection. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go down memory lane and talk about these, all right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into this video. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the first pattern. You guys, it's only like 6 of them that I like. 5 of them is for sure that I know I'm gonna pick up, and then 1 I'm just kind of like on the fence. So the first pattern that I plan on picking up, all of them are Vogue, so I'm not gonna say Vogue 50 million times. The first one is a vintage pattern and it's 1948. Vintage Vogue sewing pattern from 1974. Yes, I like this pattern. It's a loose fitting dress in mid-knee length. It has the square neckline, front button band closure, and wide front and back seaming, no side seams whatsoever. So don't try to do pockets on this, okay? Because it may not look right, all right? Just FYI for those who may need to know, all right? It has above elbow or full length wide kimono style sleeves. It has the band as well. The tie belt holds in fullness at the waistline for sure. I think I would make a thick tie belt instead of a small one. But this is like a reproduced pattern from 1974. I see that they have been doing that, you know, so like a lot of people like vintage patterns, but you can take those vintage patterns and make it, aha, this is cute, this is fashionable, this is good. All right, but this is the average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, it's 8 to 16 and 18 to 26. For this pattern, like I mentioned, it's an average to sew pattern. In terms of fabric, any type of fabric, from your wovens to your knit fabrics, broadcloth, challis, corduroy, double knit, lightweight flannel, you know, gabardine, shantung. You can use pretty much any type of fabric to do this. But this is the first one that I will be picking up, 1948. Now let's go ahead and get over to the next pattern that I plan on picking up. The next pattern is 1951. Now I know you guys like, yo, Rochelle, you got these cutouts on this. What's up with that? You go actually pick this pattern up. Yes, I am. I'm on a weight loss journey, and because I think this one is sexy, that's why I'm gonna put this in my stash for when I get to where I want to be, all right? Now, this is an A-line midi dress with lots of cutout details, all right? It has the neckties, self-fitted, self-lined front bodice. So that bodice is gonna be lined for sure. The bias back, it has neck and back armhole facing. and elasticated back as well at the back of the top and the skirt as well. The skirt of the dress has lining as well, side seam pockets if you choose to do those, invisible side zipper with the hook and eye and stitched hem. All right, so I really like this pattern, and I can see you lifted it, closed it off a little bit. I mean, the styling options and how you choose to do your pattern and, you know, change it up is up to you. This is an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, 8 to 16, and then 18 to 26 on this pattern. In terms of fabric, any type of woven fabric of your choosing, whether that be cotton, linen blends, cotton shirting, poplin, rayon challis, sheer sucker, whatever you choose. Just make sure you have some lining fabric. So the next pattern I plan on picking up is Vogue 1954. You guys, and this is a top pattern. Now with this one, I'm definitely on the fence about it. So let's go ahead and talk about it, all right? Now this is a Mrs. top. Normally I do not pick up tops in a Vogue pattern because you can pretty much achieve the same thing with a different pattern. But I like the fact, now, I like this one, but I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick it up 100%. This is one that I want to pick up, okay? And the reason why I say that is because I see like the only details for this is it's a button-down shirt, but it has a open shoulder, all right? So getting into it, it's a loose fitting pullover top with back yoke and drop shoulders, have collar band, front placket, with the concealed button closure and shaped hem. Now view A is that view that have the armhole is finished with a narrow hem. View B has the long two-piece sleeves with the button closure and the stitch hem as well. And then view B is what I was talking about. And then the front sleeve buttons over the back sleeve creates a coat shoulder effect. That is view B. And that's what I'm talking about. Like it has that, you know, coat shoulder effect. You could show that those shoulders, better those shoulders this summer, okay? But that's the only reason why I like this pattern is that coat shoulder effect, but I could get that same detail with another pattern. That's just a button down shirt. So should I spend $5.99 for that detail or should I do it with another shirt pattern? On the fence, but we will see because I do have a pattern that's a high-low type like this one anyway, all right? So we'll see about this one, but I do really like this one. I might pick it up and spend that $5.99, but we shall see. So the next pattern is a 1958. It is a pair of pants and shorts, all right? I actually love this pattern. I like the shorts and I like the pants on this pattern. So this pattern is a shorts and pants. Come on, you guys know that I'm all here for the shorts and the pants in the summertime, but this is pleated wide leg pants and shorts, sits below the waist. Both the bottom have fly front zippers, button closures at the waistband. It has side seam pockets, belt loops, and stitch hem. And then view A has the cargo pockets with the flaps on the side as well. This is an average to sew pattern. In terms of pattern sizing, it's 6 to 14 and then 16 to 24. In terms of fabric, you guys can use like any type of fabric of your choosing. Now, I would say definitely like linen, tencel, twill, you know, wool suiting, gabardine, just to name a few for this. But you can use pretty much any type of fabric of your choosing. Just make sure it holds its structure for pants, all right? So the next pattern is a 1960. It is a jacket, knit top, and pant pattern. So this is like a whole wardrobe type pattern. It's loose fitting, unlined jacket. It has the peaked lapel. It has shoulder pads if you choose to use those optional shoulder pads. It has front extending to the side back. The welt pockets and interface lined two-piece sleeve on. This is view A, by the way, is what I'm talking about, which is the jacket. And then view B, which is the knit crop top, is self-lined and has bust darts on that as well. Make sure you use knit because it's a knit crop top. All right, don't use the wrong fabric. I'm just saying. All right, and then view C is your white leg pants, which sits an inch below your waist. The pants have a fly front zipper and side front pockets as well. To me, from the line art, it looks like it's a little, you know, baggy or flared out a little bit from your knees down. So that's what it looks like to me, but I like this pattern and I plan on picking this up for sure. In terms of sizing 8 to 16 and then 18 to 26 on this one. Now for me, when it comes to fabric, you guys, I think that for this, the best way of doing this, if you want to make it like a business type, is to use like a men's suiting or a stretch woven or linen blend. Now, in terms of fabric, it does say to use that you can use linen blends, you can use men's suiting, seersucker, stretch wovens. I would use something like, if you're making it for a business, I would use business type fabric, gabardine, suiting fabric, linen fabric, things of that nature. Not a cotton fabric if you're making it for a business type thing. But this is an advanced to sew pattern. So if you are a beginner, I would say pick it up while you can, but make sure you have those techniques, because you don't see a lot of people doing sew-alongs for things that are average or advanced. Okay, like this is an advanced because it will require lining. Now this does an unlined jacket, but for me, I would line my jacket, if that makes sense. Okay, so just make sure that if you're a beginner, you can get it for now or later, you know, when you get some more skills. All right. And the last pattern that I plan on picking up is 1961, which is a top, skirt, and pant pattern. I'm here for the pants, all right? So let's get into it. Which is the Mrs. Top, skirt, and pant pattern, okay? I know you guys like, what? All right, I like it for the pants and the crop top. Yep, I said it. I said it, I said it, I said it. I do not have a lot of patterns that are crop tops or anything. And in the summertime, I like to wear crop tops underneath a button-down shirt or tie the shirt or something like that. So I do like crop tops. It's just, I don't just wear them by themselves, if that makes sense. But this one is a close-fitting line, full interface bra top. It has the sweetheart neckline, bands, front, you know, like basically the bands around the bra area. And then it has front darts and separating back zipper. View B, which is the flared skirt, it has a raised waist facing pieces, and then it has the invisible back zipper with the hook and eye closure and stitched hem. If you choose to do the horse braid, I'm not interested in the skirt, to be honest with you, but it does have a horsehair braid. If you're not familiar with that, it goes at the bottom of your skirt to make it poofy. All right, that's basically what it is. All right, and then view C, which is the pants. The pants has fly front, zipper closure, and back welt pockets for those pants. I love the style of these pants, so that's what I'm here for, all right? In terms of sizing, 4 to 12. You normally don't get a size 4, but I like that, you know, it goes 4 for those that's smaller, 4 to 12, and then 14 to 22 on this pattern. Now, in terms of the fabric, any type of fabric, Ankara, broadcloth, heavy sateen, not sateen, heavy satin, or you could even use sateen, linen, and twill, just to name a few from the back of the envelope, all right? All right, so those are all the patterns that I plan on picking up from this Vogue Summer 2023 collections. I decided to leave off those patterns that I know I'm not gonna pick up, okay? Because some of these patterns look like other patterns, all right? So, you know, like for instance, there's a pattern, let's talk about a few of them that look like other patterns, all right? So let's go ahead and do that now, and then I'm gonna close out this video, all right? So let's talk about these patterns that I will not be picking up now. So the first one is 1950, all right? Now this is a fit and flare line dress, close fitting through the bust. It has the spread collar with collar stand, the notch lapels, the short sleeve belt, decorative covered buttons if you want to do that. It has thread carrier, side seam pockets, invisible back zipper, hook and eye closure as well. And it's an advanced to sew pattern. Now we're going to talk about these patterns that I will not be picking up first, right? All right. So it's like 8 of them that I will not be picking up, and this is one of them. So we're going to get through those 8 first. Now, the reason why I'm not picking this one up is because, one, I would not wear this anywhere. So one thing that I'm trying to do is not pick up patterns just because it's a pattern set, right? I want to be sure that I'm going to sew this. Now, this pattern looks like a pattern that I have. I can't think of the number, but it's a lady with a yellow type. It's like a 2-piece. It was a dress, and then you put the jacket over it, and it'll look exactly like this, right? If I could figure out what that pattern number is, I'll put up on the screen for you. All right, if I can figure it out. It's pretty much like the same vibe to me, you know? Nothing different on this one, but some of the fabric options would be your knits in order to do this. Pattern sizing is 6 to 14 and 16 to 24 on this pattern. But yeah, it's not one that I would be picking up, but I'm pretty sure many of you will probably think about picking up this pattern and sew it up, or this is a pattern that you'll keep in your stash. Now me, I have to downsize my stash. So that's why I'm just very on the fence about picking up, you know, so many patterns right now. Let's go ahead and move over to the next one. The next one is 1952, which is basically a wrap front dress that have neck bands, hand sewn hem, and sleeve and skirt variations. View A has the 3/4 sleeves ending and bands with slit details, and then view B has the short sleeves and the collar, all right? So this one, like, let's talk about it right quick. It's an easy to sew pattern. This one reminds me of Butterick 60/30 on view B, and then view A reminds me of an old pattern that's a wrap dress pattern. I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but everyone did it. It was a McCall pattern. I think it was McCall 68, 84, something like that. I'll put it up on the screen, but it was like one of those TNT patterns. So this reminds me of two patterns that I already have in my stash. So that's one reason why I'm not going to pick this pattern up. But the pattern sizing is 6 to 14, 16 to 24. And because it's one of those knit wrap dresses, you will need knit fabric. All right, let's go ahead and get over to the next one. Is 1953, which is a fitted line dress with length variation. It has the side front seams on the skirt, thread loops, side seam pockets, invisible back zipper. The left side of the front slit has baby hem. And then view A has the contrast inset. The dress also include like matching belt with the cover buckle if you choose to do that as well. It's an average to sew pattern. In terms of like the pattern sizing is 6 to 14 and then 16 to 24 on that. Now this one reminds me of one of those patterns. I think it's 9253 if I remember correctly. Now I'm trying to tell you the patterns off the top of my head. So if the pattern is a little different than what I'm saying, I'm gonna try to find the pattern and put it up on the screen. This reminds me of one of those patterns that Nini Sew has sewn, I wanna say 2020, 2021. I think it's 9253, but I'm gonna put it up on the screen. But yeah, it reminds me exactly of that same dress. The only difference is the slit and the belt, that's it. But this is another one that I will not be picking up because I don't want that deep plunging V going on. I would have to close it up. And why buy a pattern when you have to do too much styling details, okay? So yeah, it's another one I will not be picking up. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. This is 1955. It's a bias cut top. It have layered front, invisible side zipper, hook and eye closure in the back of the neck and the armhole facings, and baby hem. View B has a back slit opening as well. Now this one reminds me of a Butterick pattern that I have. I can't think of the number right off the top of my head, but it reminds me of this one, that one. So I'm not interested in picking up another pattern that's basically a simple one that I already have. So this is another one I will not be picking up. In terms of pattern sizing, is 8 to 16 and 18 to 26 on this pattern. But when I show you the pattern that I'm thinking about, now I'm gonna say it reminds me of it because it's similar. I'm not saying that it's exactly the same pattern. I'm just basically saying like I can use that pattern and do a couple of hacks and have the same thing, or like achieve the same effect that I'm looking for, right? So this is another one I will not be picking up, but let's go ahead and move over to the next one. The next one is 1956. It's a close-fitting top. It has self-face corset waist details with boning, collar and collar bands, and exposed separating zipper closure. View A has the long set-in sleeves, ending with a button cuff with seam openings, and then view B is more of a halter style. It has the armholes finished with the purchased bias tape, or you can make your own bias tape as well, and it has the shape hem. This is cute, don't get me wrong. But your girl is not putting on a corset. We're not doing that over here, all right? So that's the reason why I will not be picking this pattern up. However, my sister's seen this and she likes view A, so I might pick it up for her, but I have no desires of sewing this or picking it up, but we will see. I might do it for Sissy. Maybe not. All right. But in terms of pattern sizing, the 6 to 14, 16 to 24 on this one. When it comes to fabric, like I haven't been telling you guys that because, you know, self-explanatory on that one. But when it comes to fabric, any type of woven fabric will be suitable for this one. Broadcloth, cotton shirting, sateen, just to name a few for this pattern. Let's go ahead and move over to the next one. It's 1957. It's basically an asymmetrical ruffle skirt. It has invisible back zipper, side seam pocket, the baby hem, and the length variation. Now, I'll say this. I don't like the style of the skirt. However, I love the fabric on view A. That's about the only thing that's given from this. Now, because it's not my style, I would not pick this pattern up. But I do think that the fabric on view A is cute, okay? And also, because this is not my style with the two asymmetrical skirt, it basically takes a lot of fabric. I'm gonna say, look at that fabric. How much fabric you will need on the back of the envelope before you decide to pick this pattern up. In terms of sizing, 8 to 16 and then 18 to 26 on that second pattern for sure. Let's go ahead and look at the back of the envelope. The back of the envelope in terms of, oh gosh, in terms of like skirt A, if you're using 45-inch Ankara print fabric, because that's what it looks like, view A is, let's just say that I'm gonna cut a size 20, you're gonna need at least 5 yards of fabric. That's a lot of fabric around, you know, my whole waist and butt. So, I mean, I don't know. To each its own, I should say. But this is an easy to sew pattern. Let's go ahead but it's another one that I will not be picking up. Let's go ahead and get into the next one that I will not be picking up, which is 1959. Now, I do like the fact that this is more like a lifestyle wardrobe pattern, but it's not for me. It's not my vibe. It's a jacket, tunic, and pant pattern. They are rating this pattern as an average. I'm sorry, not average, but advanced pattern. Not sure why, but it's a loose fitting jacket. It has inseam stitch down pockets option, bias facing stitch or hand sewn hem. It has set in 2-piece sleeves with a deep turn back hem facing. Also, the tunic has like the sleeveless or 3/4 sleeves option with self-facing if you decide to do that. That self-facing basically is there for you not to have to do like a bias neckline, all right? I don't like those either, so I like to draft my own facing. It also has inseam floating pockets, bias binding, and front darts as well. And then the pull-on pants have the oval pocket. Okay, but that's what this pattern is. It's not for me, but you know, to each his own. If you like this pattern, by all means, pick it up for $5.99 when it goes on sale. Let's go ahead and move over to the last pattern that I will not be picking up. So the last pattern that I will not be picking up is 1962, which is a Mrs. Robe, camisole, slip dress, and pant pattern. Now, I like the fact that it does have a slip dress because you guys know, like, here lately we've been getting a lot of slip dresses, but I can use the simplicity pattern that's a Madeline pattern for that, you know, or the 9745. So, yeah, no. For this one, it's loose fitting wrap robe, have set-in sleeves, side seam pockets, front gathers, bias facing, belt, and thread loops. The bias, it's cut basically on the bias. The bias cut fitted camisole and the slip have the narrow shoulder straps. You can make those wider if you choose to. It also has bust darts. Also, it has, for view D, have the semi-fitted pants above ankle length. It has elasticated waist as well. So, you know, basically elastic waist pants. And then, you know, like you could purchase the lace trim, which I don't like that detail either. But, you know, it's average. It's an average pattern. It's what they're rating this as. In terms of the sizing, 6 to 14 and then 16 to 24. Now, because on the front of the pattern envelope, it shows kind of like silky fabric, right? So I would say in terms of fabric, your chemise, your crepe de chine, your rayon challis, any type of, you know, silky print fabric should work for this as well. All right, so there you have it. Those are all the patterns that I plan on picking up. So since you made it this far, do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and also turn on the notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video. So I'll catch you in the next video, and as always, keep sewing.